have the footage, release it on YouTube. Not me begging for kissing scenes. Hi people, welcome back. If it's your first time, I'm Tala Adewale, and this is DISBYDEM. Today we're talking about the 2022 Netflix K-drama, Military Prosecutor DOBERMAN. Sure to leave your comments, like the video, subscribe, and let's just get into it, because this, I loved it. I really did. It has its drawbacks, it has its pitfalls, but for everything that they gave us, I was here for it. Let's dive on in. So I almost didn't watch this because I usually consult Drama List. I think it's called My Drama List. Yes, My Drama List for, I read up a little bit on the show. I read through reviews, the non-spoiler reviews, before I pick a show to watch. I do that a lot, and My Drama List has never steered me wrong until this show. Now, were there good reviews? Yes. And I think, no, the good reviews didn't even have any influence on my choice to finish this show or not. My love for the actors was what took me back and helped me finish, or at least continue the series, because the negative reviews on My Drama List were so negative and so bad, and they were obviously, the things they talked about were very distasteful, and that really did put a sourness in my mouth for the entire show. But I'm really glad that I stuck through because of my love for the actors and went back to finish this. Okay, so Military Prosecutor DOBERMAN, the name, we'll get to it. The series introduces us to Bae-man, a jaded prosecutor just in it for perks. He had this whole, arrangement with this lawyer where he was going to do his service for 5 years and then join this prestigious law firm at the end of it. And Cha Woo-in, a fierce heiress on a mission for justice. She was straight up for revenge. Ain't no justice in it. Let's call a spade a spade. The girl wanted revenge, and honestly, she deserved it. They were done dirty. Together, they dive into the murky waters of military corruption, dismantling the system piece by piece, which I loved. I loved it. It wasn't like a mass revenge. It was like they were taking down each person one by one, and I was there for it. I was enjoying every step of the way. The story is fast-paced and engaging, blending legal drama with high-octane action. While the courtroom scenes may not hit law school levels of depth, the unique military setting keeps things fresh and exciting. And even though it might not be like, Boston legal level, because I don't watch legal dramas. The only one I watch, I think I watched Ally McBeal. Was that legal? I think so. I didn't watch that many. But Boston legal, I've seen multiple times. Obviously because of Denny Crane. And that's the only person that takes me back to Boston legal. And it's the only one that I've watched God knows how many times. If you know me, you know that repeating shows is not a big deal for me. So after that, I haven't really watched any legal dramas. I don't really care about legal jargon. I don't care about the law. Like none of those things, rev my engines. But this wasn't bad. And even though like sometimes I would glaze over during the legal, battles and when they were in the courtroom, it was exciting enough for me to come back to the story when they were in the courtroom. Just with the delivery, the way they would turn things around. I liked it, except for the very last episode. I really did like it. Now, thematically, this show it's about redemption, justice, and revenge. Honestly, full on. Everybody was coming for revenge. The dog, everybody had revenge story in this act. And I appreciate it, honestly, because I was like, yes, this is another revenge story done right. They really took their time, bringing down every single person that they wanted to bring down. And I was here for it. Sorry, if you see this, it's just a Band-Aid. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the what's it called? I was so excited. That's why. And they also give us a peek into military law, which I've never seen before. Like I said, I don't really do legal dramas, but this was also military. It was also a military legal drama. So I don't know that I've seen anything like this. Honestly, I know there's some American movies that cover this, but anything that has to do with war, military, navy, army, not my cup of tea. I don't care. I don't want to know. So this was new for me. And based on what I read, I don't think it's something that has been done often in a lot of K-dramas. Let's get into actors and their characters. So An Bohyun was phenomenal. How did I say it? Shekshi? I think that's how you say it. He was downright sexy in this, man. Hands down, I give it to him. I liked him in See You in My 19th Life. I did, because I was like, he deserves to be the leading man of his story, not like the best friend brother wannabe lover from Her Private Life. I don't know why that thing stuck in my head. It just pissed me off the way they reduced his character to nothing in that one. In this, no. Killed it. I liked it, the way he commanded the screen, the way he held himself up. Like, the confidence was just there for me, and I loved it every single time he and Cha Woo-in were on my screen. Or maybe I should say he and Joboah were on my screen. So he plays DOBERMAN. I still don't understand why they were liking him to the Doberman, because you didn't literally have to have a dog, a real Doberman there for us to understand that he's like a dog when he hooks his teeth into something he never lets go. I didn't see the significance of having a dog there just because his name is Doberman. They could have written the character name differently. I'm just saying, it doesn't take away from the story. I'm just saying that. So he's playing this man who goes from morally gray to hero roots, to a hero who you root for. Now, the morally gray area, I had a thing with that, because I'm just going to go into it. I think that they should not have shown us how, corrupt he was in the beginning. And even though he was corrupt, I think maybe like all the money, the wine boxes he was receiving from that lawyer guy, I feel like they should not have included that. I think they should have just left it that the draw for him to do the lawyer man's bidding was the fact that he will have a job with Law One after his term. They should have signed a contract saying you will serve 5 years, as a military prosecutor, and at the end of your 5-year term, once you are discharged from the military, you will come and work at Law One. I think that was the name of the law firm that he was supposed to go to. I felt like that would have been a better narrative for him, because when it came time to the end, when he switched sides and he became a hero, hero for justice, hero for revenge, whatever it is that they were trying to portray with his character, it made no sense to me that nobody brought up his corruption in the past. Because that could have been an easy thing for his enemies to use against him. But they kind of just glossed over it like it never happened. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make sense for the story. So if you were going to do this act for us to root for him, and he was going to switch sides to be the hero story, you should not have leaned in so heavily into his corrupt past the way they did. Like, do you guys understand what I'm saying? I don't know how else to explain this, but I feel like I said it. I was speaking English. Moving on. Joboah, who is definitely one of my favorite actresses now. Honestly, she won me in Destined With You. I'm not gonna lie. She halfway won me in Tale of the Nine Tails. Full way won me in Destined With You. And now she's side by side with Kim Go-eun. I think it's Kim Go-eun, right? I always have to check every time. Yes. Oh, she cut her hair. Oh, girl. Sorry. She looks so good. I love this. I love her so much. But Joboah, definitely side by side, my favorite actresses right now, hands down. Hands down. Give me anything Joboah is in, I'm watching it. She's so beautiful. I love her almond-shaped eyes. And the way like they just stare into your soul. It's so cute. So cute. I love her. So she is a firecracker. She plays Cha Woo-in, a resourceful, cunning, and downright badass. She was so badass. It was so sexy. The two characters together were absolutely sizzling, and I loved it. They set my screen on fire, and I was here for it. I loved it. And then we have Yeon Soo, who played No Hwa-young, who was the villain of the story potentially. She was cold and calculated, man, and she was scary. I think she did a fantastic job. I haven't seen this actress in anything. At some point, I thought maybe she was going to be Cha Woo-in's mother. I feel like that would have been a very good thing to put into it. Maybe maybe not, but I felt like that would have been a good thing, because there was one time when she was talking to her and she was saying that maybe if things had been different with your dad, we would have a different relationship. And I was like, oh, maybe she's the mom, because they don't really tell us who Cha Woo-in's mom is. It's like the woman is like Cha Woo-in was delivered from the heavens straight to her father's arms, you know, no pictures, no nothing. So I think that would have been a good plot to the story. Where it's like, oh, your mother killed your dad, you know. Hey, maybe that's too heavy. Okay, no, maybe that's too heavy. Now, let's talk about things that I loved. The dynamic was, it was sizzling. It's not a romance show, but there was romance, because the chemistry, oh my god, chemistry was chemistry, and the sizzle was sizzling, and I was here for it. Do I think that they robbed us of that kiss? 100%. Yes, it's not a romance story, but if you're gonna make them kiss, let us watch. God. That sounded bad, but you guys know what I mean. Please tell me you know what I mean. Like, they've amped it up, dragged it from episode 1 right up to the last scene of episode 16, and we've been here supporting them, supporting the revenge, supporting the switch of sides, supporting everything that has gone down, supporting the tension, the sexual tension between them. You know, we've been here. All you could have done was reward us with that kiss. Please, come on, please. We know you have the footage. Release it on YouTube. Not me begging for kissing scenes. But like, seriously, I felt so robbed. Was I happy? Yes. I loved the way when she came and she said, I got my revenge, I got my company. And in my head, I was like, now you just got to get your mans. And she did. And I love that. I love that for both of them. I don't understand why they waited 1 year, but it's fine. They got together in the end. Their own relationship was built on respect. I think it started out with respect for how the other person operates, the intelligence with the way that what's it called, DOBERMAN works. She really did have a respect for him in the courtroom, even when he was corrupt. Like, you could see that she was impressed by his methods. And then she saw him fight that one time, and I think that's when things really shifted into place and settled, because she found all of that. It's like she found it very hot, let's be honest, in that guy when she was watching him. And I just like that it was also built on shared goals. So eventually, once everything settled down and they both knew their motives, they worked together so hard. When he told her, I will be your hound dog, I was like, God, babe. I was calling my husband. I was like, tell me you will be my hound dog. Let's just go now. I really liked it. Their chemistry was flawless, and I enjoyed it so much. It was so refreshing to watch, knowing fully well that it's not a love story, but like, you could still, the actors were still emoting, you know, those emotions were coming through the screen. Hands down, they did a good job. They did a very good job. Now, for pacing, I think they killed it, because every episode was good. There were action scenes, there was courtroom scenes, there was investigation scenes, there were comedy scenes. For pacing, I think they did a good job. If I'm being honest, this was the one series where, even binge watching, I took my time. It took me at least a week. Usually I binge watch in 2 days, 3 days, depending on how the story is going. But this one, I really took my time, because each episode was enough. They gave us enough for us to really settle in, and it was like, no, I don't have to watch this on 1.5 speed. I can watch this normally, and there's still enough to keep me interested from 0.0 minutes to however long, 45 minutes or whatever it is that the episode is. So for pacing, they did good. Now let's talk about the bad, and I left the bad for the back end, because even though it wasn't a whole lot, I think it was significant. So first one was, I've talked about this earlier, but like, having his corrupt past not really brought up in the end as, you know, a weapon that his enemies could use. I thought that was lazy writing, because it's either don't give him a corrupt past that they can use, or have them bring it up and him have to defend himself. Because everybody had to, you know, what's it called? Everybody had to face the law in this. She faced the law even after everything was done. Her best friend faced the law after everything was done. The people that they were revenging on all faced the law, because they all had bad things that they had done. He had done bad things too. So if we're all coming clean, You know, he either should have come clean or they should not have written it into his story. Like I said, they should have just used the contract, you know, the law of him working in that law office at the end of his 5-year term as the bribe per se. But it's not really a bribe, it's just a contract to have a job afterwards. Because even then, even if they pulled that out later on, it was like, yeah, there's nothing exchanged. All I had to do was serve my military based on, you know, the rules of the country, and then I can have that. Like, you get, that's what I'm just saying. Like, they either should not have put it in the beginning or they should have used it as a weapon at the end. Simple is what I'm saying. Second was the jokes about a potential rapist. And I'm talking about No Nam. I think that was it. The son, the CEO. Yeah, we find out that, yeah, he wasn't really the one, or he just took the video because he had ED. But we didn't know that for a while. So while we were still thinking that he had essayed this girl, them giving him comedic scenes, like the scene where he's parking, you know, all the jeez Louise. All the sponsored products, you know, to go into the military. It was funny, and knowing that he was a potential rapist, I didn't want to laugh at that because I'm not going to smile and kiki with you when I know you just essayed somebody. So I thought that was insensitive, very insensitive writing, and they probably shouldn't have included it. And I think this is where a ton of the bad reviews came from, and I think it's that whole thing about No Team. Is that his name? I don't care. The son who where people were having problems with in the reviews. So I totally understand where they're coming from, and I see why the reviews were so bad because of these interactions. And it wasn't once, they did it a few times where they tried to bring comedy to his character. Yes, they were going to give him this redemption arc, you know, at the back end, and he wasn't the one who actually, you know, raped this girl. It was somebody else, but he was in the room while it was happening and he was taking a video, so he's just as culpable, to be honest. So we didn't need to be laughing and titiing and kicking with him, is all I'm saying. We can laugh on the back end when he came out in the other side and he was a better person. Then they can do comedy about him, you know? I mean, at that point, it was all dark and gloom, but it is what it is. Next thing was music. Great music. Absolutely fantastic music choice. Horrible placement. Horrible production. I know what they were going for. I really do, but I did not appreciate it. It was so distracting. It was unnecessary at some times. It was overpowering to the scenes. Oh my God. There were times where it would just come on and I'm like, I was in the moment here. Fuck off with this music. What are you doing? I did not appreciate the music. The placement, you know, and the volume of the music choices. The music themselves, the choices themselves were not bad. And I think if it had been done a little better, it would have been flawless and it would have played so nicely into the show. But for what they gave us, it was very distracting and it was played wrongly. And then the kiss, you all know how I feel about that. We're not going to talk about it. And then the very end, I wanted the end of No Hwa-young, the main villainess, I should say. I wanted it to be, it was very anticlimactic, honestly. That last episode, it was everything was anticlimactic about the last episode. From the end of her to the kiss. I'm still pressed about the kiss. Because, yeah, we knew that they were going to obviously get her, but I wanted it to be produced differently. I think they could have done the cinematography for that, like the production of that, a little differently, knowing how much murder mystery I've watched and how, you know, the main guy always comes to the end and catches the bad guy. I wanted that flair. It was just too direct. It was like, yeah, take, bye, you know? So I didn't really enjoy her end as much as I wanted to. And also, if they gave her the death sentence, which can't believe the death sentence is still a thing in Korea. That shocked me. Not like it's bad or good. I was just shocked about it because they were handing out death sentences left, right, and center. Lord Almighty. But if they give her the death sentence, why was she still alive at the end of in a year? Does it take, like, isn't that cruel and unusual punishment? If somebody's given the death sentence, shouldn't you just kill them and let them go in peace? Like, I'm just questioning it. So if you guys know like the legals and the details of that, let me know, because she was alive a year after, and I was like, okay, what's happening? She's just rotting in prison, literally waiting to die. Why not just kill this woman and be done with it? So yeah, that final that final revenge scene of really getting the bad woman, it didn't really land for me. But again, not enough to take away from the entire story, which I loved. I will watch this more times than I can count. I just love their interactions and I love their chemistry on scene. They need to do a romance show with just them and let them have it out for us on the screen. I really have it out, goodness. But I would really like to see them in a full-on romantic TV show where, we actually get to see them interact and just be themselves. This one was very much the glory where the revenge had to happen before they now get together. And yes, I can appreciate that, but I really want them to have a love story arc that we can experience. Barring, the insensitivity to the essays that went on in the beginning and that whole story arc, I think they did good. I think they did good. For story, 8 out of 10. Characters, a 10 out of 10. Honestly, pacing was an 8.5 out of 10. The soundtrack was a 5 out of 10. But overall, 8.7. I liked it. So let me know in the comments if you guys watched this. Let me know how you felt, especially about some of the sensitive stuff that I talked about earlier on in the review. Just let me know your thoughts. I really did enjoy it. I want to know what you guys thought. I want to know what, maybe I missed something and you guys caught it. Let me know. I really love interacting, so I'm looking forward to that if any of you deign to interact. But yeah, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.